Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 15th, 2025 and Barcelona now have the chance to become first in La Liga on Monday after an ideal fixture day. Also, Real Madrid are set to present their own plan to La Liga on how to fix refereeing. And finally, great news in regards to the recovery of Marc Bernal. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with the great news that Barcelona have a chance to become first in La Liga on Monday after an ideal fixture day for our club because both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid dropped points today. Now Real Madrid drew 1-1 against Osasuna. And as such, they have dropped two very important points after Osasuna received a penalty kick in their favor. And Jude Bellingham received a red card. And this, of course, has caused total mayhem amongst Real Madrid fans and amongst Real Madrid media. Because, of course, they're all claiming this is corrupt. This is a robbery. The referees are doing everything in their power to manipulate La Liga and to go against Real Madrid, which is absolutely hilarious because not only is Real Madrid the club that has most benefited from refereeing errors in history, but also just this season alone, every week there has been a controversial call in favor of Real Madrid, whether penalty kicks that were not awarded in favor of Madrid's opponent or red cards that weren't issued to Real Madrid players. In fact, just last week alone, Jude Bellingham was clearly heard telling the referee F you and F off and nothing. But back then, everything was fine. But now that the referees are finally making calls against Real Madrid, now all of a sudden it's corrupt. And in fact, the Real Madrid media already working overtime to justify Jude Bellingham's red card because this time the referee did act when Jude Bellingham cussed him out. Now, there is a little bit of controversy. The refereeing report says that Jude Bellingham told the referee F you. Meanwhile, Bellingham and his friends and everybody else are saying that no, he said F off. And now somehow, some way, one is better than the other. And the Madrid media are working overtime to try to justify that saying F off. That's totally okay because it's cultural. In England, it's not an insult. It's just a manner of expression. But had he said F you, then yeah, it should have been red. But because he said F off, look, let's cut the BS. The problem here is not the word you or off. The problem is the word fuck. So, Jude Bellingham said it. The referee gave him a red card. It's totally justified. But of course, Madrid fans are never going to admit that. Instead, they're going to keep saying that this is corrupt. But I wonder, are they going to say that La Liga is corrupt when they see this image? Because this was Camavinga in today's match against Osasuna. Look at that foul. How he didn't break the Osasuna player's leg, I have no idea. And this was not a red card. So, my question to Madrid fans who are saying that the referees are against them and that this La Liga is corrupt, are you going to say the same thing when you see this image? Because that is a clear red, my friend. And Madrid should have ended up with 9 players, not with 10. But anyways. Now, Atletico Madrid, they too drop points because they drew against Celta Vigo 1-1 in a similar situation where Atletico Madrid saw a red card and there was also a penalty kick against them. So they drew 1-1 as well. So now both teams have dropped points and now Barcelona have a chance to become number 1 on Monday because this is how La Liga table is currently looking like, where Real Madrid is first with 51 points, Atletico Madrid second with 50 points, Barcelona third with 48 points. So if Barcelona win their match on Monday against Rayo Vallecano, Barcelona will have 51 points, tied with Real Madrid. But because of the goal difference, then Barcelona will become first with the same amount of points as Madrid. And of course, ahead of Atletico Madrid by 1 point. So this is a great chance for Barcelona to reclaim their spot at the top of La Liga after dropping so many points in the months of November and December. So Barcelona cannot waste this opportunity. The players need to understand this, and on Monday they need to come out full force against Rayo Vallecano, fully motivated, fully focused, ready to win, because again, this is our chance to reclaim our spot at the top of La Liga. And again, this league is back in our hands. We no longer have to depend on anyone. That was already the case before today's La Liga fixture, because even though Barcelona were behind Madrid and Atletico Madrid, I said if Barcelona win every single match from here until the end of the season, we could be champions, because that would mean beating Madrid and Atletico Madrid and therefore getting past them. But now that both teams have dropped points, this La Liga is even more in our hands. We don't depend on anyone. We can become champions. It's all up to us. So Monday, we cannot waste this great gift that both teams just gave us today. Now, speaking of Real Madrid, we do have to discuss the next bit of news, which is that Madrid will reportedly present their own plan to improve refereeing. Yes, you heard that correctly. Madrid wanna present their own plan to improve refereeing to La Liga. Now, if you don't know, I think this was last week, but all La Liga clubs met with the CTA, all La Liga clubs from first division and second division. So 41 clubs total met with the CTA. Real Madrid refused to go to that meeting, and during that meeting, the refereeing was discussed in detail. Suggestions came up, questions were answered, questions were made, etc., etc. And then at the end of this meeting, a list of potential things to fix La Liga was come up with. All La Liga's clubs from first and second division signed it, and this will be kind of like the plan that the CTA and La Liga will follow to improve refereeing. But Real Madrid, who refused to attend, now all of a sudden they have their own plan, and they will reportedly present this plan to improve refereeing, because according to them, of course, this refereeing is corrupt. It's manipulating La Liga. It's going against them. My God. The team that has benefited most from referee mistakes in history all of a sudden thinks that refereeing needs to be improved, because finally the referees are making calls against them. And honestly, this just smells like total crap to me. It smells like crap, because why would Real Madrid present its own plan? Why couldn't you attend the meeting with the other 41 clubs and together come up with a plan? Like, are you just trying to control refereeing? Is that what's going on, Florentino Perez? Because can you imagine if Barcelona had said, I'm not going to that meeting, I'm presenting my own plan? We would be hearing headlines after headlines. Negreira, Barcelona trying to corrupt La Liga, blah, blah, blah. But Real Madrid presenting their own plan, that's totally fine. Nothing suspicious here. Anyways, speaking of the match on Monday against Rayo Vallecano, Ronald Araujo, who did suffer an injury against Sevilla but was not it was ruled out as not a serious injury, has been trying to recover for that injury for the Rayo Vallecano match, and today he completed part of the training with the team, which means that he could be available for Monday. However, given how many options Hansi Flick has in the defensive defensive positions, then most likely Barcelona will not rush Ronald Araujo, but just know that Araujo is recovering really well. He completed part of the training with the group today, which could signify that he could be available on Monday, and most likely will not be used, because if you have Íñigo and Pau Cubarsí, who are the two starting center backs, why risk Ronald Araujo where you can give him more days off in order to fully recover? Now, speaking of recoveries, we do have great news, and we'll end this video with this great news, because ladies and gentlemen, Marc Bernal is recovering faster than initially anticipated after that horrible injury that he suffered at the beginning of the season, and it's reported that he could pretty soon train with the team on the pitch. That is huge news, because that is signifying that Marc Bernal is entering the final phases of his recovery. Because if you are not too familiar with the process of recovery after having a surgery, the first phase is just healing, no exercise or nothing like that. After that, you start doing physical therapy, which is, you know, water exercises, things like that, just to help with the healing and strengthen the muscles. Then you start training in the gym. Then you start training on the pitch by yourself. And finally, you start training with the group. At the beginning, it's going to be part of the training with the group, and then part by yourself. And then eventually, you do the full training with the group, and that's when you means that you have finalized your recovery. So Marc Bernal entering the final phases of his recovery, which is great news. We still don't know if he's going to be available this season. Most likely not, but just know that he's recovering really well. And in fact, it's reported that Hansi Flick has been personally involved in the recovery of Marc Bernal. He has been personally overseeing the recovery of Marc Bernal. After all, Flick is the one who gave him his debut. It is Flick who was key in convincing the club to renew Marc Bernal until 2029. So it's no surprise that Flick is personally overseeing the recovery of Marc Bernal, and I gotta say, I can't wait for him to come back because our midfield is already pretty insane. Can you imagine with Bernal in it as well? It's going to be the best midfield in Europe by far. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading 2 more videos because there is a lot of news, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, peace, Barca.